Hi, my name is Cami Bodine, and I'm the freshman English teacher at senior high. Your child is in my class, and I'm hoping to relay some information to you since we unfortunately cannot hold the Bronc Bash that we normally do at the beginning of each year so we can meet parents and guardians. With that said, please take your time to watch this video, and if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. I want to make sure that you can put a face to the name. That's why I'm including this short little intro. And I hope you find this informative. Go Bronx!
Okay, so Google Classroom is going to be our home base. So anytime a student is absent, he or she can access anything that we've done for the week here. So I'll show you some important places to go. Number one, because of the plethora of information that's on Google Classroom and the assignments, it's best for them just to click on the hamburger menu and go to Calendar, and then just narrow their calendar down to their current class that they're looking at. And then they can navigate through and see the assignments for previous weeks, when they were due, and they can easily click on those assignments and access them. That way they don't have to sit there and just stream through all this information on classwork, because as I add work, it becomes cumbersome. So the only reason they should ever come into the classwork portion of it is if they are looking for quick links and resources, which is beneficial. In quick links and resources, they can find the link to access PowerSchool. Their PowerSchool login is pretty simple. It's exactly how they log into their computer at school. So it's their first dot last name and then whatever password they had created. Also, the online lesson plan is here. It changes though each day depending on how far we go. So checking it the day of is fine. However, we might not get through everything. So looking at it later in the day or the next day is more beneficial, though they can still rely on looking at the assignments in the calendar. So for example, when they click on this and it opens up, it is going to look like this for the whole week. Now, I can be ambitious and think I'm going to get through all of this week, but most likely not. So if they just click on this single day, they can have a good outline of what's happening. So for example, today we did not get to the Nearpod reading word choice. So I'm pretty sure I won't get to it in period 3 either. So that'll eventually just disappear. So that's why it's really important they just use the calendar, because I'll only post things that we actually get to as we're working on them during the class period, and then they can click and access those. Again, narrowing down, of course, to their specific class. Every class should be using Google Classroom, so hopefully they can navigate through their stuff there. Okay, so after looking at the calendar on Google Classroom, there also is a place that they can go to access certain apps, even though Classroom is their home base. So for example, Clever, if they go to clever.com, and if they have the extension on their computer, that helps, but if not, they can type it in the URL. If it doesn't come up with Billings School District 2, they can search for it. They would just search for Billings Senior, and then they choose the option Login with Google. Once they choose Login with Google, they will automatically be signed in if is their email that they're logged into. So going to Google Classroom first is beneficial because they're definitely then logged into their computer with their student account. And I'm just using my daughter's account as an example. And teacher pages will be at the top. So they can click on their teacher pages to find out what it is that is within that class. Now, for me, I'm going to go ahead and show you my teacher page. It will not look exactly like theirs, but it'll be quite similar. So pretend like Ms. Bodine's page was the one at the top of your child's screen, and when they open it up, they're going to see these different apps. This is also a nice place where they can go to get to everything quickly. But again, like I said, MobyMax, Quizlet, like all this stuff will be linked within Google Classroom. So if they want to, for example, log in to MobyMax, they would just click this icon. It would automatically log them in through Clever. And Quizlet, when they click that, they would use their Google login. Launchpad will automatically just log them in with Clever, and so forth. Some of these you have to log in with Classroom. So for example, when you click on Nearpod, If it doesn't log you in automatically, that means you're supposed to be using Google Classroom to log in. So these are the different apps that we're using. No Red Ink is also a Google Classroom login. We have not been using we have not done quizzes yet, or Flipgrid, or Actively Learn. Those are coming later. This is the textbook, the Launchpad textbook, but honestly, I copy everything from the textbook and I put it into a document and put it on Google Classroom. It's just more user-friendly, easier to find, and I can chunk it so it doesn't seem as overwhelming. And lastly, I want to talk about the open disclosure and syllabus that your child should have brought home and then had you sign. Some of them have been returned, but many have not. So if they go to their classwork tab, they can click on Syllabus English 1 Open Disclosure, and then they can hit View Assignment. Within this assignment, they have this document here, which is what should be read by a parent or guardian and then signed. The student has already signed it. I did include a virtual how to sign tutorial along with a slideshow that if you were to do it on a phone, the steps that you would take. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up just quickly so that you can see what's included in this. Obviously my contact information, phone number, email address, the text and materials we're going to be using, required materials, our daily routine and expectations, links talking about like that online lesson plan, which I already showed you is available in Google Classroom for the students, how grading works, the late work policy. That one's extremely important because, as you know, we just go week to week. So it's pretty simple for kids. When I meet with them 1 week, by that Friday, anything we did that week is due by Friday at midnight. And then they have until the next time we meet again to turn all their work in to still receive full credit. So midnight by the day before we meet. So for example, midnight on Sunday if we meet on Monday morning again. So it also talks about sanitation procedures, cell phone electronics and expectations, how grades are, and then of course what is required during semester 1 and semester 2 in freshman English, any standards that are required in language, reading, writing, etc. And then as you get to the second to last page, then this is where the students are supposed to sign digitally all the information and turn it in. They get a parent signature, etc. This was just an example that I showed kids, so it's not really matching up, but that was the thing that was supposed to be turned in. So when it comes down to it, just please, if you have any questions or concerns, reach out to me. Emailing me is your best option, but you are welcome to make a phone call as well. And I do communication through email on Google Classroom. So if you find that you're getting this information in an email that you would rather not, you have a different email, you can respond back to me. And I will also post this welcome video on the Google Classroom website in case a student's parent or guardian does not have an email, and then they can play it for them. And I appreciate your time, and let's have a great year. Go Bronx!